This is JG Hertzler. You're listening to NX7062 Podcast.
Hey, Chat Pack 2.0. Hope you all had a great Monday. I am so sorry I can't be with you live tonight, but as I said in my messages on social media, just like Marsha Brady, something suddenly came up. But I am really excited to share with you some interviews that I did back during Vegas when STLV really was STLV back in 2019. Again, they were listener questions, and they did play on a previous podcast. But I've gotten some new listeners since then, and these haven't premiered on YouTube yet. So sit back, relax. I did a little bit of video editing, throwing in some fun pictures to go along with the audio, which I really hope you enjoy. The other thing I want to say real quick before we get going is how excited I am that Paramount heard the outcry from all its international fans, and they worked their tails off. And the international fans, as of last week, had access to the current season of Star Trek Discovery. Depending on where they were, they could get it, I think, 3 times a weekend on Pluto TV, which is a free service. You just can't record it, so you kind of have to be there when it happens. Or for those international fans that live places where Paramount Plus is already available, then they were able to tune into Paramount Plus, and they were also offered a 50% discount for the first couple of months on their subscription. So that'll get them all of Discovery, catch up on Picard, catch up on Lower Decks and Prodigy. But unfortunately, for 3 months, I don't think is going to get them Picard, or at least not all the way into Picard. So unless they time it out right, I guess. I don't know when the offer ends. So maybe if you hold off a little bit on your disco and you subscribe closer to Picard, you might actually get Picard for half price as well. But that also means that we're going to be back to recapping Discovery. And that also means Faith. If you're going to be able to join us next week for the favorite Star Trek series podcast, then you'll be able to ask your Discovery question then. Anyway, I hope you guys have a good time enjoying these interviews. I know I had an amazing time doing them, so enjoy.
A major hero.
This is Stephanie K.
How are you?
Once again, hanging out at STLV, getting fan questions answered for those fans who unfortunately couldn't make the trip for one reason or another. That is why I am here, so that they get a chance to talk to their favorites and ask questions of, people like, what was your name again?
Oh, yeah. Hurtin' Black and Bitten Bop.
Otherwise known as, what was it, Gowron? Was it Gowron? Gowron. The fearless, the mighty, the googly-eyed.
Wonder of the universe.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One of my 2 favorite Klingons.
Yes. Well, you shouldn't have 2 favorite Klingons. You should have one, and it should be me. Period. That's it.
Well,
Forget about Martok. He's nowheresville.
How did you know I wasn't going to say Kern?
You weren't going to say Kern. You were going to say Martok. He's Butchville. Get rid of him.
Actually, Chancellor Martok's busy talking to a fan, but
he's always talking. He never shuts up. He just talk. That's all he does.
Yeah, I hear the peanut gallery over there.
Him and Daffy Duck,
I pay it no mind because it is a mindless banter that goes on from that direction.
Well, speaking of mindless banter, when the 2 of you were on my podcast together,
Well, we will do banter.
Yeah.
We do love you, JG.
I know I do.
At least
Bye and good luck. and forget about it.
The question is...
Forget about it. Don't worry about it. Forget about it.
One of your fans
Yes.
lives, I believe, his name's Robert. He lives down south in the Carolinas.
Yes.
And he wants to know if you or what's his name over there will be making any trips to his general area. He was going to try and come to STLV, and he couldn't make it. So he's hoping maybe you guys will come east.
Well, JG lives east.
Well, northeast, and he's in the southeast.
Well, that's different places.
Yes! Oh my God, Bob, you're better at geography than I am.
Well, it happens that way. It's because I'm in the universe all the time, and I look down on the planet Earth, and I notice there are different places. It's a wonderful thing, but forget about it. I'm from the West. But actually, maybe I'll move in with the guy. If he's got an extra bedroom, just let me know and I'll move in with him for only about 3 years. As long as he's got a full refrigerator, I'll be fine. All right? And I like scotch, so he can keep a couple of cases of that. I'll move right in.
So we'll write up the rider, and we'll give it to JG, and if he accepts it, you'll move in.
Nice.
But that still didn't answer my question about if you're
not with JG. I ain't moving in with JG.
Oh, it's not JG. Oh, who you want to move in with? Robert. I'm sorry.
You lose track of everything there. We were talking about this guy.
Oh, Robert. If you want Bob O'Reilly to move in with you, you need to have some scotch. You need to have an extra room. I'm assuming he's going to have to get his wife's approval.
And you have to have a refrigerator full of food.
And you have to be able to feed him. Yeah. And he is a mighty Klingon, so...
I eat a lot.
Gach. He's going to have to put some Gach in there.
If you got dogs and they don't move too fast, I'll eat them too.
And some blood wine.
No, I don't like blood wine.
Oh, just the scotch.
It's really bad.
All right, but besides moving there, do you have any plans to do any conventions down in the Carolinas?
No.
Unfortunately.
No.
Robert would like you down there.
Yes.
So, make plans.
Good. Goodbye.
Chancellor, it is always a pleasure talking to you.
Go away.
Now that you're free, Chancellor.
Yeah.
Same question for you that I asked of Bob.
Oh, what's that?
Your buddy Martok, who cosplays as you.
My buddy Martok?
Your buddy Robert, who
Robert.
Right? Yeah. Remember Robert Plant?
Well, I thought you said no. I thought you.
I might have.
When you get into radio, it's very important the pronunciation. It's very consonants are incredibly important, but you can't spit all over the microphone. So it's very important to get those consonants in cleanly.
Okay. So
just a little sharing some of my knowledge.
Well, you should charge for this.
I do.
Well, except for me.
Yours up to 15 cents now.
It's my birthday.
That's right. It's free.
It's free.
Forgot.
Free on birthdays. Do you have any plans to hit the Carolinas for?
Plans to be in the Carolinas?
For a convention.
Do I have any plans to be there?
Yeah, Robert wants to know if you guys are doing anything down that way.
When is it?
I don't know. The only one I know about, to be honest, is Dragon Con. Is there anything besides Dragon Con? Yeah, besides that, is there anything in the Carolinas?
I don't think so.
But if there was, you'd go.
Oh, absolutely.
And then Robert can meet you himself, because he couldn't make it here this year.
I went to. I used to go to. I did Zorro, the TV show Zorro.
Yep.
One of the major characters was Henry, Don Alejandro de la Vega. What's Henry's last name? Delgado. His actual name is Delgado. He changed it to Darrow, so it's Henry Darrow. Mm-hmm. In Zorro, and he lives not in Wrightsville Beach, but in Wilmington, North Carolina, right there in the coast.
So the only time you'd be going down there would be to...
I'd like to see Henry.
There you go.
I haven't seen him in a long time.
Well, Bob actually said that if Robert had a fully stocked refrigerator, an extra bedroom, and scotch, he'd move in with them. But I think Chevy would have something to say about that.
Wait a minute. Robert O'Reilly would move in with me?
No, with Robert Plant, your buddy in the Carolinas who wants to see you both. Bob said, I'll come, but I'll move in with you.
I have no idea. He knows O'Reilly. Robert O'Reilly knows Henry Darrow?
No.
Okay, let's go over this before him.
Okay.
Let's get it straight.
Okay.
Because I need some education here. Bob says he will come down to California.
Carolina.
Look fabulous, by the way. Fabulous. I mean, that is fabulous.
And just for the listeners to know, someone doing Captain Pike post-trauma just rolled by.
There he is, Sean.
Hi, Sean.
Where were you last night?
Say hi.
Hi.
To all my podcast listeners.
Please say it with an Irish accent, for heaven's sake.
He's from Liverpool.
It's close enough. It's right across the channel.
I thought France was across the channel.
No, the Irish channel.
Oh, the Irish channel. See, I suck at geography. So, unfortunately, we don't know of any events down in the Carolina area.
Why
Carolinas.
not? What?
I don't know. Robert, if you're listening, which I know you will be when this comes on the air, please let us know if there's some sort of convention you'd like him to.
Robert Plant would be the way to go.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Robert Plant, please let us know, and I'll reach out to JG's people.
But maybe you can get Bob for a full stock refrigerator and a nice place to sleep, but that's not my fee is exorbitant. I need Velveeta cheese. I need lettuce. I need Wonder Bread, French's mustard, and Miracle Whip. That's my comfort food. And if you don't have that, and it's got to be those things I mentioned, those brands. It can't be anything but that. Then there's no hope of me going down to North Carolina. So get it together, go shopping to the Piggly Wiggly or what's that?
Yeah, I think Piggly Wiggly.
Piggly Wiggly.
And then just message me at the podcast's Facebook page, the NX7062 podcast. And when you've met JG's demands and you've met Robert O'Reilly's demands, then we can talk.
I want the big package of Velveeta cheese, not the small pansy-ass packages that go right on. But I want the big, fat byproduct cheese that's packed into the Velveeta loaf.
That's the only way to eat Velveeta.
All I'm asking.
All right. Well, JG, thank you for taking time out of your con.
I have no con. I have no time. I am outside of time and the con. I am...
Well, then thank you for
JG.
Thank you for popping into our reality for this brief interview.
Thank you for having me popped in. I appreciate that.
So I hope you enjoyed that 2019 interview with Bob and JG. As always, whenever you interview the two of them, it's like herding cats. It is so hard to keep them on any sort of topic. But also, that just makes it so much more fun. I really enjoy talking to the two of them. Unfortunately, I didn't get to do that this much this year. Again, just because of the circumstances. And also, they weren't even sitting together because JG was a last-minute add to STLV this year. But it was so much fun. Always love talking to them. Hopefully we'll get to do it all again really soon. Next up is my chat with Nicole DeBoer, always one of my favorites. And one of the reasons I adore her so much is because she is so great at always making time for me to sit down and ask her a couple questions. In 2019, I was actually doing all table interviews. So I was talking to everybody while they were doing their autograph signings. So I always try to keep it brief, again, because I never want to keep them from their fans. I don't want to keep them from the reason that they're actually at the conventions, which is to make some money. So enjoy this very brief but very quality interview with Nicole DeBoer.
Hello, podcast listeners out there. This is Stephanie K. reporting from Star Trek Las Vegas with one of my absolute favorite convention people, Nicole DeBoer, who joined us in Albany. And we got a couple questions for her for this week from Travis. They came in through Twitter, and he's got two questions. Okay, we ready? If given a choice between guest starring on Star Trek Picard or your own series, which one would you choose?
Ooh, wait a minute. Guest starring on it or like being a series regular on my own series?
He said guest starring on Picard.
Right.
Or getting your own show.
I would get my own show.
Well, yeah, I think that's pretty much
guest starring would be only one episode, right?
Yeah, exactly.
As much as I would love to be a part of it, yeah.
And if anybody's out there in the Twitterverse, we've all seen that everybody wants to see a Captain Esri Dax.
Yes, totally.
We all do. Let's all vote for that. Okay, and I think you answered this on the podcast that we did a little while ago, but how hard was it to recite your lines while standing on your head, and how many times did you have to do it?
When I was hanging.
Yeah.
I was hanging by my feet.
Yeah.
That is difficult. You don't have too long before the blood all flows like that. You have to get it out. But they left us hanging there for a while. So I think we had to do kind of a sit up and grab the pole and just get upright that way for a bit.
Before they had to call the EMTs because y'all passed out from hanging upside down.
Totally.
So how has your STLV been so far?
It's been pretty good, Gosh, I'm not even sure how many times I've been to this now. I can't even count anymore.
It's day 2.
It's always fun.
Yeah.
We're day 2.
We're day 2, and things are good.
It's a little quieter maybe, but I don't know. There's also a lot going on, that people are going to see.
Yeah, there's a ton of stuff. There's like so many exhibits this year.
Yeah.
hopefully I'll get a chance to take in some. So.
I'm about to do a panel for the documentary, What We Left Behind.
Which I did get a chance to see in New York, which was fabulous.
It
It is so good.
Yeah.
And there's so much fan involvement. I mean, they were here interviewing people.
It's wonderful. I love seeing all the interviews with the fans. I just think they did such a great job on it.
And it's out. You can now order it.
You can now order it because if you love this show, I mean, you're going to love this.
Absolutely. I mean, Ira, it was a labor of love, like I said. And I had the pleasure of meeting him when we were in New York very briefly, but it was it was absolutely beautiful. And any fans of DS9 need to go check it out.
Totally.
And they where can they check you out? Are you doing any more? I know you just got back from London.
Got back from London Comic-Con, which was fun, so I'm a little jet lagged, and then I'm flying back to Toronto. That's my home, and I'm filming we're doing the 4th season of Private Eyes.
Yay!
So I'm going to be in some more of those this year. So
can't wait to see you on that.
Fun. Yeah.
That is fun. I mean, working with Jason Priestley is never a bad thing, right?
Yeah, someone's got to do it.
Yeah.
He's such a sweetheart.
All right. Well, Nikki, thank you so much for taking a couple minutes out of your
pleasure.
con.
So as you can tell, talking to Nicole DeBoer, it's always quality time. She's always so amazing. Update on that one is Private Eyes. She was doing the 4th season. Then it has now been and gone and done into its 5th and final season. And we've spoken before about this, but still don't know when or if it will be available in the US. But if you're up in Canada, you get to see all 5 seasons, and that's amazing. The first couple of seasons are on Prime Video. I've watched a handful of the episodes. They're all great. The cast is great. And I even caught myself watching a couple that Nicole wasn't in. It was just that good. But I highly recommend it if you can get a hold of it. Again, it's called Private Eyes. It was 5 seasons. It was this great Canadian private eye, mostly drama, but there was a lightheartedness to it that really made it enjoyable to watch. Next up, well, always save the best for last, my 2019 interview with Dominic Keating and Connor Trinneer.
Okay, so this is Stephanie K once again with the NX7062 podcast, hanging out day 3 at STLV. And if I tell you, longtime listeners, that I am in my happiest place I could possibly be at this convention, then you would have to know it is sitting between Dominic Keating and Connor Trinneer. Hi, guys. Hi. Now, as I've said, I have some questions from the interwebs for the two of you, people that couldn't unfortunately make it here themselves. They've asked me to ask you guys a couple of things. But first, Claire.
Did they mail them in?
Yes, snail mail. They put them in the post, my dear. Claire wanted to tell everybody from Enterprise that they have a huge fan base down in Australia, but I think you guys knew that.
Been there. Done that, mate.
You've done Sydney. I saw those Instagrams.
I was there recently in Brisbane and Sydney. Thank you, Claire. Good on ya.
And you've done that as well, right? New Zealand?
We were just in New Zealand. I haven't been to Australia in a hot minute, I think. Isn't that cool? Yeah, it's time to go back.
It's one of the
question?
It's one of the places. That was just a little shout out from your Aussie fans.
Cool.
Okay, so Betty from Twitter would like to know from Dominic, when will you be doing a European con again?
Well, I'm not sure. Possibly Germany in a year or two. I usually go about every 5 years or so.
Okay.
Yeah. There was talk about doing one up near where I was born, but possibly next summer. It's called the Pickwick, I think, or something like that.
All right.
And they just started.
In Ireland?
No, it's Northamptonshire, near Leicester.
Oh.
Yeah. Maybe next summer.
So if she keeps her knickers on, hopefully you'll be home.
Yeah.
Okay. And also, when do you have any plans to go back onto the stage?
Well, maybe. No lockdown plans. But no, I mean, I'd always be interested in doing a play. Possibly, I'd get closer to that if I went home and lived in London a bit, which I might next year.
No.
I might.
No.
I'm sorry.
I'm not allowed to go.
No. Sorry.
He's going to miss me.
Connor can't function without you.
2 bedrooms. You can come visit.
Aww. Okay, Mark, who follows you on Twitter, He's from Germany.
He doesn't follow much of them.
Yeah. He's a diehard, and he wants me to give his regards to his favorite actor.
Oh, bless. Thank you, Mark.
Well, we already covered your future plans, and hopefully, that you're about the UK and theater. Let's see, what else does he want to know? Oh, this one, I think I know the answer to this one, but let's see. There was an episode of Enterprise, Harbinger, 3rd season. I actually went back and rewatched it. It's one of my favorites. It's actually the one where Lieutenant Reed and Major Hayes are at odds because Major Hayes wants to start training the crew, and Lieutenant Reed feels like he's encroaching because he went right to the captain. And after the first training session, poor Mayweather gets a bloody lip. And you have a little confrontation about not about the training sessions being a little too difficult.
Right.
And you literally end this confrontation with him by saying, "Jolly good."
Jolly good.
Jolly good. And he was just curious whether or not you came up with that.
Probably did. Yeah.
Really?
The likelihood is that, I used to put a lot of little Englishisms in the script.
Little twists.
And they let me do it. They were very, because they were kind of, pretty tight on the dialogue, and what they wrote, they wanted to hear said. But they were pretty keen on you, weren't they? If you wanted to change anything, you had to ring through, didn't you?
Every time.
And I didn't so much. They would just let me do it on set.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got a little bit of leeway because I said British guy never say that.
Yeah, no. Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay, Dominic.
No, that's interesting because I really thought it was going to be like that, where they have such a lockdown, but they actually let you get away with the little Britishisms.
Yeah.
Okay, and last question is from Jill on Instagram. She wants to know what you like to read.
Books.
Lovely, like actual books with pages
books.
and stuff?
I do books still, yeah. What am I reading at the moment? I had not read John le Carré, so I'm reading The Spy Who Came In From the Cold at the moment. I recently read The Miniaturist. I want to read, you've got The Underground Railway, haven't you?
I do.
Did you loan it me?
Yeah.
I'd like to read it because
I hope I still have it.
His second book's his second one of real note is just coming out. The Nickel Boys, about that dreadful, orphanage school in one of the Carolinas, and it's just being released. And it's a grim tale, but apparently he's getting a lot of press about it.
So's the Underground Railway.
Yeah, I'd like to read him. Anyway, I've seen him interviewed. He seems like a really smart, interesting man. And,
it's a really interesting book.
So, there you go.
Thank you, darling.
Pleasure. Thank you, Steph.
All right, so Connor, next ones are for you. Lisa from Facebook would like to know, and I think you answered this yesterday in your panel. You Instagrammed some pictures about going to New Orleans. So of course the question has been raised. Does that mean you're going to be on NCIS?
No.
I've auditioned 3 times for it in about 5 months. No joy. With phone calls to Scott Bakula.
There's a problem there.
Yeah.
And it's them.
No,
So-
I don't know. It's there's a million reasons why you don't get a guest star, love.
Exactly, I know.
A million reasons why you don't get any part. Anyway, it's all over to you, darling.
Thank you.
Would you like to tell us why you were in New Orleans? Can you tell us why you were in New Orleans?
Yeah, I'm doing season 2 of The Purge, the TV show of the movie. Yeah, that's literally all I can say.
Fair enough. Okay, so Michelle from Facebook wrote me an entire paragraph, which basically boils down to this. How does someone who gets to college on a football scholarship end up becoming an actor?
Happens all the time. In my case, I tripped over it and found that I could, it was something I wanted to do. I hadn't really found anything that I wanted to do in college, and that seemed to be the first good idea that I had.
So you kind of went into college with football and no backup plan?
No, I mean, football wasn't any kind of plan. It was just what I was doing. I was just going to college. I didn't have any real plan yet.
Right.
And then I developed one.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is for me personally because it's sort of like a message from Eric Pierpoint. Eric did my podcast a few months ago, and we got, of course, to talking about Alien Nation. And as I'm talking to him, I remembered that part of Alien Nation was that his character got pregnant. Like his character had to carry the baby.
That's right.
And I said, oh, well, what a coincidence. Connor Trinneer, first season of Enterprise, was pregnant. And Eric went, what? We were on a transcontinental flight, and he never mentioned that he felt like there was a bonding moment that got missed because the two of you could have talked about being pregnant men on television.
What a flight that would have been.
At least he didn't have to grow nipples on his arms.
No, that's right. I got that unique.
That was, yeah.
That
was an incredible experience. So, is there anything else? Because I know that, and I know I'm trying to get your attention again. Everybody wants to know, all your fans want to know when they're going to see you again. If you've got any upcoming projects.
I've got a movie that just came out in London called Once Upon a Time in London. It's a gangster film, and I believe it might be coming over here shortly. Did you tell me it was on Amazon, you said?
It is on Amazon for purchase as a DVD, but then you would also have to get a Region 2 DVD player to watch it here.
Okay.
Because it's set for the UK.
Ah, right.
But
right.
They're not, or they claim that there are these things called region-free DVD players, but...
There you go.
Yeah.
And then a horror film that hopefully will be out before Christmas called Amsterdam Secrets.
Oh, I love good horror.
Pretty grisly stuff, I have to say. Yeah.
Well, I've told you before, I loved you in Hollywood Kills.
Oh,
so
thank you.
I am a horror fan.
It's as grisly as that was.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, and Connor, what are your upcoming plans?
Yeah. Well, The Purge.
Purge. Anything else you can talk about?
That'll come out, I think, in November.
And is that a network? Is that a Netflix?
It's USA.
USA. Okay.
And then I have a movie at the moment. It's called Dark Harbor. It's a mystery that takes place in Maine.
Oh, is that where all those lovely Instagram photos came from?
Yeah. And that's.
Thank you, brother.
That's it right now. So I'm fairly busy at the moment.
Well, busy is good, and the fact that we get to see some of your stuff on Instagram where you're going on location is always fun. To follow you on social media. So anyway, thank you so much for taking time. I know creation. I know sitting here, it's all about signing autographs and talking to the fans. So I don't want to keep you from them for too much longer.
Well, it's a pleasure.
Yes, and thank you once again for that amazing karaoke. You guys are always great at karaoke.
That's always fun. Yes.
Yes, it was always fun.
It sure does.
All right, darling. Thank you, Dominic.
Thank you, darling.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, lovely.
Yeah.
Pleasure. That was good.
Okay, guys, so that wraps it up. Like I said, save the best for last. That was my 2019 interview with Dominic Keating and Connor Trinneer. I have to admit, I mixed some older pictures in there. The two pictures from us at karaoke, that was from my first one. That was 2017. The pictures at the beginning, I think, were from 2018. Then I did the 2020s. I just mixed up a bunch of different pictures of me and the guys because I make a habit of getting pictures with them every year just to kind of, you get to kind of see the changes. And obviously you'll know which ones are from 2021 because, masks. But they are so much fun. The two of them, they are absolute friends in real life. The way they play off each other. And I hope you enjoyed that interview, listening to that interview as much as I love doing it. Some updates on things that they mentioned. Amsterdam Secrets changed its name to The Host. It is available on Amazon Prime for free. If you have a subscription, it's on Tubi for free, which you don't need a subscription for. I don't recommend it. Honestly, Dominic's not in it for very long, and the movie itself was not very good. I've mentioned that on other shows. It was supposed to be an homage to Alfred Hitchcock, and it ended up being a ripoff of a couple of his movies. And it just I'm sorry. It ended up being a ripoff of Psycho and then some other movies, and it just wasn't very good. So I don't recommend it. Honestly, if you want to see Dominic do horror, I still always recommend Hollywood Kills. The problem with that is you can't find it anywhere unless you go on Amazon and order the disc. As far as some other stuff that Dominic did, Once Upon a Time in London is also available for free, and you can grab that if you have a Prime subscription or on Tubi. Let's see, Dark Harbor, which was the movie that Connor was in, which I've seen a couple of times, which I thought was really good. It's suspenseful. It's really great. Again, Amazon Prime if you've got the subscription. The other thing that's awesome is The Purge, which had disappeared. I was streaming The Purge season 2, and I lost it. I don't remember what streaming platform it was on, but it disappeared. And then when Peacock finally came out, it was back. So both season 1 and season 2 of the television series The Purge, which was and is based on the movies. I don't know if it's coming back, but the second season of The Purge that Connor was in is available on Peacock. I have a paid subscription. I don't know if it's available on the free side or only the pay side, because that's the thing. They suck you in with free, and then half of the stuff on Peacock's free, and then half of it you have to pay for. But if you are a fan of horror, if you're a fan of The Purge, which I was always a fan of the movies, the TV show is great, because the TV show, at least the second season, again, can't tell you about the first season, but what was awesome about the second season was that it wasn't about just it was about the aftermath, what happens in those 364 days between purges. And it's really great. And Connor, of course, was great. So I highly recommend it. I recommend almost everything they talked about, except, again, the host, aka Amsterdam Secrets. Don't bother. It's not worth it. And Hollywood Kills is just bad B horror, but Dominic's really good in it, and I really enjoyed his performance. So again, guys, thanks for tuning in. Even though I'm not here, I miss you all. I hope you all had an incredible Thanksgiving. I think you still have a day or two to go to Twitter and vote for what your favorite Star Trek series is, because that's what we're going to be talking about next week on the show. You all know, obviously, what my favorite is, and I want to hear about your favorite and why it's your favorite. So we're going to talk about our very favorite Star Trek series next week. Until then, I wish you all well, and as always, live long and prosper.
This is Nicole DeBoer, and you've been listening to the NX7062 podcast.